A flood is a body of water that covers land which is normally dry. Floods are common natural disasters that can affect millions of people around the world. They destroy houses and buildings, and carry soil away from valuable farming land. Floods can also contaminate drinking water and lead to diseases. Flooding has always been a part of human history. Many ancient civilizations developed along waterways and rivers because people needed water for their fields. Floods are not always destructive natural events. Before the High Dam was built, yearly floods in Egypt brought along nutrients and made the land around the Nile very fertile. At least once a year, the plains around large rivers are flooded. This is due to the amount of water that rivers bring with them, because of heavy rainfall or melting snow in the mountainous regions. Thunderstorms can cause flash floods, in which small rivers can swell quickly and carry up to 10 times the normal amount of water. Coastal regions can also be affected by flooding. After earthquakes on the ocean floor, tsunamis can bring up to 15-meter high waves and flood the coast many miles inland. In 2004, a devastating tsunami in the Indian Ocean killed over 250,000 people in Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and other countries. Floods are also caused by humans. Trees and plants normally help absorb too much water. When forests are cut or burned down, water from rainfall flows down barren land and produces mudslides. Too much water pressure on dams can lead to cracks in the concrete or even cause a dam to break completely. Today, flood protection has a high priority in countries that are in danger. Dams are built along rivers to regulate the flow of water. They are often connected with hydroelectric power plants. In some areas, rivers are dredged and their beds are laid deeper. In alpine regions, reservoirs are built to hold back water and control the flow of small rivers. In many areas, authorities provide quick and unbureaucratic help for people who have suffered from flooding. Special boats pick up people who are trapped on roofs or on the upper floors of buildings. Shelters are set up for people who are left homeless. Rebuilding after massive floods often takes months and sometimes even years. Rivers usually begin high up in the mountains as a tiny flow of water that comes from rainfall or melting ice. Sometimes rivers originate in a lake or a layer of groundwater that comes up to the surface as a spring. Rivers consist of three sections. When streams carry more and more water, they grow into rivers. They cut their way through landscapes and change the face of the earth. Erosion is caused by the flowing water that cuts into bedrock and makes a river's bed deeper. Waterfalls, canyons and other landforms are typical of the upper course of rivers. When streams carry more and more water, they grow into rivers. They cut their way through landscapes and change the face of the earth. Erosion is caused by the flowing water that cuts into bedrock and makes a river's bed deeper. Waterfalls, canyons and other landforms are typical of the upper course of rivers. The brightness of light is measured in the unit candles, a name that dates back to the old days when wax candles were the only ways of lighting up a room. The amount of light that an object receives depends on how far away the light source is. If a simple candle shines directly on a flat surface that is 1 foot away, light has an intensity of 1 foot candle. Smog is a combination of smoke and fog. It occurs when gases from burnt fuel get together with fog on the ground. When heat and sunlight get together with these gases, they form fine, dangerous particles in the air. Smog occurs in big cities with a lot of traffic. Especially in the summertime, when it is very hot, smog stays near the ground. It is dangerous to our breathing, and in smog areas we can't see very well. Smog was first discovered in Great Britain in the 19th century, during the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. At that time people used coal for heating and cooking. Factories also used coal to produce iron and steel. Smoke got together with wet, foggy air and turned yellow. The smog often stayed over cities for many days. It caused lung diseases and breathing problems. Thousands of people died in London every year. Today, cities that have a high population and are located in hot, subtropical areas have the biggest smog problems: Los Angeles, Mexico City or Cairo. A lot has been done to prevent smog recently. Factories use coal that doesn't have that much sulfur in it. And cars are much cleaner today. In some cities, cars aren't even allowed to drive on smog days. Our atmosphere filters the sunlight and keeps dangerous rays from reaching our planet. Without such a filter it would get too hot during the daytime. At night it prevents heat from escaping so it does not get too cold. Without an atmosphere, life on our planet would not be possible. It also makes our world a more pleasant place to live. Air carries sound waves, which let us hear voices or listen to music.
Most automobiles are powered by an internal combustion engine. Fuel, usually gasoline or petrol, is burned with air to create gases that expand. A spark plug creates a spark that ignites the gas and makes it burn. This energy moves through cylinders in which pistons slide up and down. They are attached to rods that move a crankshaft. Normal car engines have 4 to 6 cylinders, but there are also models with 8 and 16 cylinders. The turning movement is passed through the drivetrain to the drive wheels. The engine and all parts that carry power to the wheels are called the drivetrain. It includes the transmission, drive shaft, differential, the axles and the drive wheels that move the car. While most cars have drive wheels in the front, some have them in the back. Cars that need to drive over all kinds of ground have a four-wheel drive.
When a car burns, fuel gases are produced. They must be removed so that new fuel can be burned. The pistons in the engine cylinders force gas out of the engine. It passes through a muffler into tailpipes. The muffler also keeps the car running quietly. For about 30 years cars have been equipped with a catalytic converter. It reduces pollution by converting harmful gases into carbon dioxide and water. Even though today's car is a great machine that is fast, elegant and beautiful to look at, engineers are constantly working on a car that will make today's automobile look old. Experts say that future cars will be made of plastics and carbon fibers that will be stronger and lighter than steel. As oil is becoming more and more expensive, alternative power sources are being explored. American car producers have also been working on ways to make diesel engines more fuel efficient. Diesel produces more energy when it burns and sulfur emissions from the engine produce a strong smell. Because gasoline-powered cars remain the most popular type of vehicle in the United States, American car makers make diesel-powered cars mainly for the European market. When harmful elements get into the air, they may cause health problems and can also damage the environment, buildings and soil. They make the ozone layer thinner and lead to the warming of the Earth's atmosphere and climate changes. Our modern lifestyle has led to dirtier air over the years. Factories, vehicles of all kinds, the growing number of people are some things that are responsible for air pollution today. Carbon monoxide is a colorless gas that is set free when wood, petrol or coal are not completely burned. It is also in products like cigarettes. Because of it, less oxygen enters our blood and it makes us confused and sleepy. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas that gets into the atmosphere when we burn coal, oil or wood. Chlorofluorocarbons are gases that come from air conditioning systems or refrigerators. When they get into the air, they rise high into the atmosphere. There, they get into contact with other gases and destroy the ozone layer. We need the ozone layer because it protects us from the sun's ultraviolet rays. Lead is in petrol, paint, batteries and other products. It is very dangerous if it gets into our bodies. In some cases it can even cause cancer. There are two types of ozone that we know of. Natural ozone is in the upper part of our atmosphere, but on the ground, people produce ozone too. Traffic and factories cause ground ozone. It is especially dangerous to children and older people. It makes them tired and doctors suggest not to go outdoors when there is too much ozone in the air. Another result of air pollution is acid rain. It happens when sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide get into the air. When it rains, the water that comes down on us has these dangerous substances in it. Acid rain can also be caused by volcanic eruptions. Volcanoes send poisonous gases high up into the atmosphere. Acid rain leads to the destruction of forests, lakes and soil. Many lakes and rivers have been poisoned over the decades, and even some types of fish have disappeared. Buildings also corrode because of acid rain. The pollutants can travel in the air for a long time before they come down to Earth. That's why it's sometimes hard to tell where dangerous pollutants originate. Acid rain that destroys forests and lakes in Austria and Germany may come from power stations in Eastern European countries. The job of cleaning up our air is difficult but not impossible. Choosing other forms of energy, like solar energy, wind energy or tidal energy, could be used for controlling pollution. Cities like London have shown that better air quality can be achieved in a short time. But we individuals can also help make the air around us cleaner.